What do you mean?
So in the past few weeks, the 40k community has been crying heresy because of the introduction of the female custodians into the 40k universe. A video about the custodians will be discussed in the future because heresy will not be tolerated in the Emperor's life. But would you believe me if I said there were already female Space Marines in the 40k universe? And it's proof that us Space Marine fans aren't sexist because they're already well established in the universe?
I am a daughter of a martyred lady. I am the flame that wreaths the Emperor's blade.
Yes!
Now before getting into today's cult meeting, if you enjoy, leaving a like would be awesome as it gets the video out there, and subscribing will help the channel grow as we are growers and not showers. Alright, so, as stated in the intro, 40k has introduced the custodians in their animated series, The Tithes. When we saw the custodians in the series before they were unmasked, we were like,
Yes.
but when they took off their helmet to reveal they were Prince Charming laced with a Botox and steroid cocktail, we all went,
Oh no! Oh no! No!
though there were parts of the fandom out there that went,
Oh my god!
It was me, Barry.
when this episode dropped, the 40k community called heresy and was this close to boycotting Space Marine 2 because of this change. Well, a good chunk of the Space Marine 2 community. I personally don't mind the female custodians. Wait, hear me out. I am no heretic, I have good reason. If they come up with something and write a reason why the custodians now take females into their ranks, then we'll see how the community acts and their reasoning before committing a second heresy event in the universe. But before the female custodians were introduced, the 40k fandom had the one true introduction to the hot MILF zealots that were the face of the female quote-unquote Space Marines.
Oh my god!
But if you're watching this video, that means you're thinking the same thing that I was thinking when I first saw them. Who are the Sisters of Battle? Where did they come from? And what is their role in 40k? Now in today's cult meeting, we are going to be discussing the origins of the Sisters of Battle, relating them to the show Pariah Nexus, and what their duty and purpose is in the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, this is a new series that I want to get into where I read about the lore in Warhammer 40k, and I too am relatively new to the IP, so for the veterans of Warhammer 40k who watch my videos, if I miss anything or get anything wrong, do leave a comment down below and where I went wrong, and if you have any sources that I can read through or have any series that you would recommend if it's a good representation of the said chapter that I will be talking about, that would be much appreciated. But if I miss anything or get anything wrong, do leave a comment to correct me because I do make mistakes when I research, so if I get anything wrong, do leave a comment. The Adepta Sororita were created during the Age of Apostasy as a direct response to the corrupt rule of Goj Van Dyer. The Emperor's decree that no men under arms could serve the ecclesiarchy led to the creation of the female military force, filling a specific need within the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy, officially known as the Adeptus Ministorum, is the hierarchy of the imperial cult. So my YouTube channel name does make sense now.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
It maintains the spread of Imperial Creed, the only official religion of the Imperium. Although the interpretation of the ecclesiarchy's rites and dogma varies throughout the Imperium, any serious deviance from its strictures is considered heresy and dealt with severely. The ecclesiarchy is based on Terra, its urban palaces covering nearly all of the southernmost continents. Now, as I read through this script, it's all starting to come together why the Sisters of Battle act the way they did in Pariah Nexus. The Sisters of Battle are not female versions of Space Marines or Custodians. I know. You said they were Space Marines. You said they were female Space Marines. Correction. I said quote-unquote Space Marines. Haha, got you there. They serve the ecclesiarchy as its military arm, driven by faith and religious zeal. Their powers such as Act of Faith comes from their extreme devotion, distinguishing them from other military factions. This is shown in the first episode of Pariah Nexus. Sister Danica was shown praying in a ruin and decrypted church on a ruined planet. We later find out that this planet is in ruin because of their failed defense. We find out later that the planet was attacked by the Necron Awakening. More on the Necrons later on how they're an absolute menace in the 40k universe. Maybe I'll make a separate video about them. But here we get a good example of how exactly these women are religious and how the Sisters of Battle are. And how they're basically the hot nuns from that one Hitman trailer way back when of the 40k universe. Despite being very religion-driven, they are armed with bolters that fit their size, as despite not being as large as an Astartes, they can still hold their own in a battle for their world. The Adepta Sororita have a clear place in the Imperium, representing the religious zeal of the ecclesiarchy, with their role tied directly into enforcing the church's will. Have you ever had a hot nun fantasy where they hunt you down in booby armor, where they go on their holy crusade for the emperor? Yeah, that's what the Sisters of Battle basically are. They're hot nun Templars that will hunt you down in booby armor. It is the church's will. It is the emperor's will. They are a part of the Imperium structure, integrated into its war machines through faith, not just brute force. You can say the Sisters are similar to the Black Templars in a way, though both are very religious and have faith higher than your local preacher in a Christian church. The Sisters have a different role to play. In Pariah Nexus, their zealotry is on full display. When the Sisters fail to protect the world that they're currently stationed on, in the show we see Sister Danica being haunted by a soldier she witnessed dying in battle. She goes on about how the relics in the cathedrals that were destroyed on this sacred and holy ground was far more important than the lives on the planet.
Say that again?
Oh, it wasn't their fault that the planet fell. It was the people's fault for not having a strong enough faith as they do. Yes, these hot women blame you for not performing well. If you don't defend your planet with whatever you've got, they will see you as faithless and unworthy of the Emperor's mercy.
See, now that's some bullshit.
I know, but what do you expect from a religious zealot? Sister Danica is shown displaying this through the entirety of the third episode of Nexus, tripping a priest, blaming him and the survivors for the fall of the planet. No. This was also seen in episode 2, where she attempts to fire on the survivors, but the goat! Salamander Shakan steps in between the bolter and the civilians like the Giga Chad he is. But more on their zealotry later. The Sisters derive their power from sheer faith, believing themselves to be the instrument of the Emperor's divine will. Known for their unwavering devotion, they can perform acts of faith, miraculous feats in a battle fueled by their faith, like surviving lethal wounds or performing impossible strikes. Their belief in the Emperor, as long as God grants them a kind supernatural protection, making them highly resistant to the corruption by chaos. Again, in Pariah Nexus, we see that Danica is bleeding from the forehead. Now, normally, for us normal people who aren't genetically enhanced in any way, may you be male or female, you'd be dead in a few minutes. Trust me when I say you cannot survive the blow Danica took to the sternum and hitting her head on a massive rock, bleeding profusely. You would not survive that, but she is so devoted to the Emperor that she believes, no, it's my job to protect the remainder of this planet. Unlike Doomslayer, she is too faithful to die. Organized into different orders under the umbrella of the Adepta Sororita, there are different orders and organizations in the Sisters of Battle. The Order Militia is the main fighting force of the Sisters, with prominent orders like the Order of Our Martyred Lady and the Order of the Blood Rose. The Orders of Hospitallers are specialized in medical care. In their name, it's hospital, but it's hospitaller. That joke's going down the drain. The Orders Dialogus serve the interpretations and maintainers of the sacred texts. And the Orders of Famulus acts as the diplomats and the advisors to the noble houses. The sisters have been involved in countless campaigns against chaos, heretical cults, and xenos. They fought during the Plague of Unbelief, helping suppress the rebellion against the Imperium. They played a key role in the Therion Reformation and the Horizon Wars, probably also the Horus Heresy, I need to clarify that, alongside the Inquisition. The Sisters of Battle are heavily armed with bolters, melta, and flame weaponry, reflecting their role as close combat specialists and their penchant for purging heretics with fire. Sounds like another chapter in the Astartes. I wonder what chapter has an affinity for fire and is the main source of their purge on heretics and xenos. I wonder. Using powerful vehicles like the Exorcist missile tank and the Immolator transport. I have no idea if I butchered that or any way, but yeah, I'm leaving that in. Known for their power armor, similar to Space Marines, but lighter and more streamlined for their needs. See, the armor that they wear isn't just to show that they're the nuns of the galaxy, they are also trimmed down versions of the Astartes power armor, and these models of power armor, as stated, is more sleek to fit their needs for their missions. It is also to distinguish them as female, because as stated, you cannot be male and serve under the ecclesiarchy. That is why they have boobies on their armor, so we know that they are female. Sounds very sexist now, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you start reading what I've been reading. I don't know about you guys, but I think this armor fits the sisters far more than just the standard Space Marine armor. Not just because I think it's hot.
Right.
The armor gives the sisters an identity, as seen in Pariah Nexus. Compared to Sakan's massive tank-like armor, Sister Danica is able to maneuver over obstacles much more steam-like. And when Sakan was under attack by the Necron sniper, we saw how fast she can run with the lighter armor. It is said that a Space Marine can run up to 40 miles per hour, and rumor has it that their top speed can go up to 90 miles per hour, but that's just speculation. If we go by this math, if we do take it into account and apply that to the Sisters of Battle with their lighter armor, considering they don't have the modified genetic gene seed that they have like their cousins, we can assume that they can run just as fast, if not maybe faster than an Astartes. This is really generalized, as I know that there are really fast chapters in the mythos like the White Scars, but let's not delve too deep into it. Well, not yet at least, because again, we are still at the tip of the iceberg of the Warhammer 40k universe. As for the Relics and Saints, veteran saints, with Saint Celestine being the most famous, is an immortal saint who regularly returns to lead the faithful into battle. The bones and remains of saints and other holy relics are held in high regards, often carried into battle to inspire the sisters and boost their morale. Oh yeah, they carry their saints' remains into battle just to inspire them. That is dark, but it's Warhammer 40k, what do you expect? The most notable orders in the Sisters of Battle are the Order of Our Martyred Lady, the largest and most famous order known for their martyrdom and the unrelenting faith, Order of the Bloody Rose, known for their aggressive and zealous tactics and love for close combat, Order of the Sacred Rose, famous for their calm in battle and stoic endurance, and the Order of Ebon Charles, the first order created, known for their strict adherence to the ancient traditions. From this we can gather that they're their own thing and they are completely separate from the Astartes, because again, they are sisters. Besides the guardsmen who are basically cannon fodder that let women into their ranks, the Sisters of Battle are a standalone thing separate from the Astartes chapters that we know, but they still somehow call them cousins because they are related in somewhat and they serve the same emperor, but I need to read a little bit more on that as it does get a little bit confusing if they're their own thing or they're just female Space Marines, but from what I heard, they're not female Space Marines, but you know, you can let me know down in the comments. The sisters uphold the dogma of the Imperial Creed, acting as enforcers for the ecclesiarchy's religious laws. They maintain a deep connection with the Imperial faith, often serving as a symbol of purity and devotion within the Imperium. Sisters are trained from a young age in the Scala Progenium orphanages, where they are taught to embody faith and discipline. They themselves as the Emperor's divine hand on the battlefield, tasked with rooting out heresy and impurity within the Imperium. You know, funny enough, while the sisters are deeply loyal to the Emperor and the Ecclesiarchy, they often have a tense relationship with the Adeptus Astartes, Space Marines, due to their differences in roles and their approaches on war. They work closely with the Inquisition, particularly the Ordo Hereticus, to root out heresy and chaos corruption within the Imperium. They are fiercely independent and pride themselves on their self-sufficiency, though they will work with other Imperial forces when necessary. Now, why does this work compared to Femme Custodians? Now, the Sisters of Battle have a narrative that explains their existence and justifies their role in the universe. They weren't added simply to fulfill a diverse requirement, but to solve a unique problem in the lore, the Ecclesiarchy needing a military force without violating the Imperial law. Their distinct identity and role makes them feel natural and cohesive within the Warhammer 40k universe, because as die-hard Warhammer 40k fans, from what I've been hearing, you can't be a female and become a Space Marine because that's against the Emperor's will. That's why the sisters were made. If female custodians were introduced without a strong narrative reason or a distinct role, they could feel forced and out of place. Unlike the Sisters of Battle, female custodians would risk being seen as a gender-swapped version of the custodians without any deeper lore justifications or unique identity. As I stated earlier in this video, if somehow game workshops can write the female custodians in a proper light and not just retconning the origins of the custodians instead of having the firstborn son be indoctrinated into being the Emperor's personal bodyguard and his will, they'll be abducting the firstborn children, including females, which is lazy writing on my end, then the 40k community would accept it far better than just retconning the origins of one of their most favorite chapters, well, they're not Space Marine chapters, in the 40k universe. All in all, the Sisters of Battle are the female chapters in the Warhammer 40k universe. When you think of female Space Marines, even if they aren't categorized as such, you think of the hot MILFs Battle Sisters and not Prince Charming from Shrek. But despite the outrage, I believe females in the ranks of the Custodians would feel much more natural if the writers can find a way on how that is now. But for now, female Custodians are nothing but marks of heresy in the 40k universe and should remain under surveillance, and let the Sisters of Battle show these heretics how the Emperor's kindness should be properly distributed throughout the galaxy. But that's all I got for you in today's episode. What are your thoughts? Do you think female custodians are an act of heresy? Or did you click this video seeing a hot Sister of Battle in the thumbnail and you thought, oh my god, the artists are gonna act so fast on this? Did I get anything wrong? Did I get most of it right? Do let me know down in the comments. Now, if this does well, if it reaches at least 500 or 1,000 views, or if it's well received, I'll probably push forward for this kind of video format when it comes to lore, exploration, and breakdowns. If it does, then the Salamander video will most likely be in this format as well, because again, I am a die-hard Salamander fan, and I can't wait to dive into their lore. But if you enjoy, leaving a like would be awesome as it gets the video out there, and subscribing will keep you up to date on the latest cult meetings. That's all from my boy. I hope you have a wonderful day, and in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.